All right, here we are, final segment, area. And again, I have two typical area problems, and then that you find in the book, and then one typical of the exam. Again, first two easy, third one barely a little bit more difficult. All right, and so I'm gonna sit this here. And the thing that we all need to remember is the formula, because geometry is about following directions, right? So that's going to be area equals pi times radius squared. All right, so we all know what radius is and we know what pi is. So the only thing we need to discuss real briefly is square. Square simply means a number times itself. That's what square is. 2 squared is 2 times itself. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 squared is 4 times itself. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 squared is 16. 8 squared is 8 times itself. So 8 squared is 64. Alright, so now that we got that straight, let's see what we got here. 10 meters is our radius, and we know it's radius because the line only goes halfway through the circle. So, following our directions, that means we should be doing 3.14 times 10 squared. Now, again, what is 10 squared? 10 squared is 10 times itself. So 10 times 10, 100, absolutely. So that means that our work is 3.14 times 100. Now, true enough, I'm picking easy numbers here so that you can get the hang of it, right? And we can, again, learn something on our way to learning something if you didn't already know. Anytime you have a number times 100, only thing that's going to happen is the decimal is going to move out 2 places. And you know the decimal is going to move to the right because you multiply, so the numbers got to get bigger, not smaller. Right? So if you don't believe me, take your calculator or get your pen and paper, do it real quick, push pause, come right back. 3.14 times 100 is absolutely 314. Alright. Second one is 4 inches is the radius. Right? Now again, with your line like that, that's just to confuse you. Don't let them win. Radius is all we need here, so this is 3.14 times 16. Why is it times 16, not 4 or 8? Because 8 is the diameter. We don't need the diameter, we need radius squared. 4 is the radius, square 4, that's 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16, 3.14 times 16. Now I'm going to break my calculator out for this one, for the sake of time. And 3.14 times 16 gives us 50 and 2/4 inches. Right? Don't forget inches and don't forget meters here. Definitely gonna lose on the test if you forget inches and meters. Absolutely, because if I didn't write meters here, then how do I know it's meters? Could be inches, could be quarters, could be dollars, could be jelly beans, could be anything. Right? And so now I'm gonna make us some space so we can deal with this last one here. If you were paying attention to the first 2 problems, then you already know the answer to this one. But as I often tell my students, once you get past fractions, once you get to algebra and geometry, nobody really cares what the answer is. What's important is how you got the answer. And that's the purpose of this question, is just in case those first 2 problems were so easy you could just look at it and tell the answer. Here, you need to know how to get the answer. All right, that's really the purpose of the question being the way it is. So, this case, the area of the circle is 314. We want to know the radius. All right, and so then we're going to follow our directions and just write them out again. It's funny how answers come to you when you start to write. It's almost like magic. Unfortunately, I don't believe in magic, but it's just like that. So, area equals, excuse me, not area. We already know what the area is, so 314 equals pi times radius squared. And just like we did with circumference, we know what this is. So now, instead of going something times something equals that, we're going to do this number, the opposite of multiplication. That's a little algebra there. This number divided by, because that's the opposite, divided by 3.14. Right? So I'm going to break out my calculator again. And 314 divided by 3.14 gives us 100. So 314 divided by 3.14 equals 100. Alright, so r squared equals 100. Now, before you say, wow, I'm done already, no. The question here is radius, not radius squared. You want to be real specific with mathematics. Remember, mathematics is the reason why the roof over your head is not falling on top of your head. It's the reason why the roof in your house hasn't collapsed yet. Right? So you want to be real specific with mathematics and make sure you're answering the real question. Now, if we want to know what radius is, not radius squared, we want to do the opposite thing again. Because in order for us to get radius squared, remember we took the one number, multiplied it by itself. So now if 100 is radius squared, and we want to know what regular radius is, then that means we want to figure out what number times itself gives us 100. Take your time. Absolutely. 10 times 10 gives us 100. Therefore, radius equals 10. And you can always double check in mathematics. Once you get to algebra and geometry, you really don't need Mr. Smith to tell you whether or not you're doing this thing correctly. So, if you want to know, go back to your formula, and then that's going to be 3.14 times 10 squared equals 10 times 10 is 100. 100 times 3.14. Like I said in the previous video, it's going to move the decimal out twice. So that is definitely going to give us 314. And that's just how simple it is, at least for circles, at least for area and perimeter. So study hard, and I'll see you on the next one.